Beardo Banjo.
Hey there, so today I'm just going to talk. I just came here today to talk. I haven't done that in quite a long time, but I've hit record on the camera and I'm just going to chat for a bit. Now I know I have a tendency to waffle. If you've seen any of my videos, I say they're going to be 10 minutes and they end up being 20 minutes. I'll try and keep this as clean and direct as I can. I'll put some gameplay up as well because I appreciate sitting and staring at my face and listening to my voice for 10, 15, 20 minutes is pretty dull. So I'll play something and I'll put that up behind me. Now the reason I'm here today is because something's happening within the VR industry that excites me, that genuinely excites me. Competition. Competition is a great thing. Monopolies typically aren't a very good thing because they encourage stagnation. Nothing changes, nothing grows, or nothing grows at a fast or quick pace if there is one business dominating the landscape. And currently within VR, we have pretty much one business dominating the landscape. And that business is Oculus, or Facebook. Oculus/Facebook. The Quest 2 is a fantastic thing. I love my Quest 2. I have hundreds of hours of use out of that thing already, and it's only been out for 6 months or so. I play it all the time. My PC VR headset of choice is a Rift S. I have 2 of them. I have a spare one because they discontinued it, so I got another one just in case something happens to my current one, which already has a little crack on it, so I kind of needed a spare one. So please don't take this video as me hating on Oculus. That's not what I'm doing. I love Oculus, I love their products, and they've given me thousands of hours of VR joy. But competition is good. Competition is crucial. Competition is important to push the medium forward. VR is still a new and young commercial medium. Yes, VR's been around for a little bit longer than it's been commercially available, but in terms of people being able to buy this thing, take it home and play it in their own homes, 5 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, but typically around 5 years, we've had access to this kind of technology to play games. It's still very young. If you look at that in the grand scheme of things, if you look at that in the grand scheme of gaming as a whole, it's very, very infantile. It's still got a lot to learn. And we can't allow Oculus to continue to just dominate the landscape and make the rules and set the rules and capture the market. Right now, the Oculus Quest 2 is doing some incredible things, and I'm glad it's bringing people into VR. People are being able to access VR with a great entry price point, £300 or $300. It's exceptionally viable for the majority of people. You know, it's still an expensive bit of kit, don't get me wrong, £300 isn't play money, but it's more affordable than it's ever been. I think Steam stats came out recently that showed something like 45% of headsets connected to Steam, VR headsets, are Oculus headsets, and 21% of that was Quest 2. That's incredible, considering it's only been out for about 6 months. People have adopted this thing like crazy. I'm sure it was the hottest and biggest Christmas present, Christmas just gone. Kids, if Pop 1 being filled with them is anything to go by, must have been asking for that thing like crazy over Christmas, and it sold like mad. And it's really, currently, the biggest standalone VR headset on the market. You don't need a PC to play it. PC elevates it, gives you access to more games, gives you access to better features and all that kind of great stuff, but you don't need one to play it. You just open it up, charge it up, put it on your head, and you're playing VR. Good VR as well, good quality VR. We're not talking Google Cardboard, we're talking proper VR here. We're not talking high-end PC VR. We're not talking, OLED screens and the very best contrasts and the darkest blacks and all that kind of good stuff and the widest field of view. But we're talking good VR. And that's why it's starting to capture such a mainstream market, which is great. I want to see VR go mainstream. I'm not against that. I want more people. I want the most people to play VR. I want everyone to have a VR headset because it's such an amazing experience, and I genuinely believe that's where gaming is going over the next 10, 15, 20 years and beyond. It is going to grow exponentially and it's going to give us some amazing experiences. But Oculus cannot continue within the standalone VR space, the mainstream VR space that's starting to emerge. VR hasn't gone mainstream yet, but it's starting to emerge. They can't continue unchallenged. Challenge is a good thing because it pushes innovation. It pushes people to do more. It pushes people to experiment with new tech, find new things that work, offer better prices, offer more for less. Or, I'm not encouraging price wars or anything like that, but innovation and competition is great. It's what we want. We've seen it for years with the consoles. I hate it with every fibre of my being. Console wars are the most petty thing ever. But having Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo all make their own console is a healthy thing. It's a very healthy thing. They push each other to do more, to do different things, to think differently, to offer different services, to innovate in ways that they might not have done if there wasn't a competitor on the scene pushing them to do more. Well, they may have eventually innovated in that way, but it would have taken a lot longer because they stagnate. Then they're not being challenged, they're not being pushed. If it was only PlayStation and there was no Xbox or Nintendo or anything else, I don't think they would be innovating at the speed that they are and doing the things that they're doing at the speed that they are. I think they'd stagnate. And that's what we'd be at danger of happening here. If Oculus are allowed to run rampant and dominate this market for years and years and years, I don't think we'll see innovation and growth within the VR tech field, for standalone VR anyway, at a decent rate. And I want to see VR get better quicker. I want to see people really impressed with this tech. I want to see what it can do. Now, the reason I'm here talking about this is because it seems like someone is about to make a move. It seems like someone's finally going to jump in and start to challenge Oculus on this front. And that's really, really exciting to me. Now, there have been rumblings for months about other companies getting involved. Rumours of Valve making a standalone headset. There are rumours of Apple getting involved. Just recently, Sony have kind of been alluding to the PSVR 2 being about more than just the PS5. Does that mean standalone? Who knows? We'll have to see. The potential of standalone is massive because the fact you can just chuck it on your head and play. You don't need to own a £600 to £1,000 or £2,000 PC to run these games. You just put it on your head and you jump in. That's massively appealing to a mainstream market. HTC appear to be the first manufacturers, the first company to jump in and do this. This is speculation at this point, but it appears like it's going to be them that challenge Oculus first. And that is, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Now, for weeks, HTC were teasing things on social media and everyone worked themselves into a frenzy. Those items ended up being a brand new Vive tracker and a Vive facial tracker, which are very cool, don't get me wrong. But there are definitely two main markets of VR users. You've got people, I kind of sit on a fringe, but I probably sit in this group. You've got people who just are awestruck by playing VR, regardless of the quality of that VR. It could be PlayStation VR, right up to the Valve Index. It could be Quest. It doesn't matter what headset they're using. They're enamored and blown away by the games they're playing. Whether they're cartoony games, realistic games, they're just amazed to be in there. That's pretty much where I sit. I love VR so much, I'll play any game and I'll just enjoy it for what it is because I think they're amazing and I can't wait to see how they evolve. And then you've got the other side of VR, where it's more hobbyists. People who do want the best tech. They want the trackers, they want hip trackers, they want trackers around their room, they want to check out the facial tracker, they want highest quality screens, they want the widest field of view, and I want that stuff. But to a mainstream market right now, that stuff isn't so important. So I think there are definitely two VR user camps at the moment, and then there's obviously going to be people that sit on the fringes, but I think there's definitely a kind of a very casual user base and a hobbyist user base, and both coexist very happily. The VR community is one of the nicest communities right now, and everyone kind of gets on because we're so passionate about the tech. Now, typically HTC Vive have made products and items for that hobbyist community. Their PC tech, their PC headsets are extremely high quality, as I've kind of alluded to already. Things like OLED screens, exceptionally great contrast of colors, a far wider field of view. They make high-end stuff, typically aimed at businesses. You can go out as a consumer and you can purchase this stuff, but typically they're aimed and marketed towards businesses. But this feels different. Just this week they've started teasing the headset. the new headset. It's quite clear that it is a headset. They alluded to in one of their tweets that it was hardware they were showing off. Something like, we're done with the accessories, now for the hardware, let's get down to business. And it's a screenshot or a picture of what quite clearly looks like the front corner or side, like kind of bezel of a faceplate for a new headset. You can see a camera on there, so kind of inside out tracking is pretty much confirmed at this point. Now, a lot of people have zoom and enhanced that picture, they've brightened it, they've tried to find clues in there, tried to look for things like a power button. There seems to be a few things in there that are being hidden, but ultimately it looks like a headset. A second picture just came out, which is a desk in an office with what is quite clearly a headset laying on the desk under a cloth, under a HTC cloth. Now, the thing that's got people really excited is that headset doesn't seem to have any wires, which is leading people to believe that this is going to be the standalone VR headset competitor to the Quest that HTC have been rumoured to be making for quite some time. Now, the other thing that makes me think it's time, and the other thing that makes me think it is that standalone headset, is the fact that their entire social media presence and approach has changed quite dramatically over the past few weeks. HTC have always been quite a cold company. As I say, they're marketing towards businesses, so their consumer interactions have been quite limited. But just recently, they're very active within the VR community. They're dropping in on conversations that are just about VR in general, and they're posting memes, or they're posting snarky little comments. Now, whoever their new social media manager is, or old social media manager that's got a brand new direction and vision to follow, whoever they are, they're definitely engaging with the community in a much friendlier way, a much more engaging way. They want conversation, they want back and forth. And that kind of says to me that they're changing their approach on the run up to whatever this new product is. They're moving away from the business approach and moving more towards a, hey, check us out, we're on your level, we love VR. Because of course they do, they make VR products. A more user-friendly approach. I couldn't be more excited for them to make a standalone VR headset. I really, really couldn't, because I want someone to challenge Oculus. I love Oculus, but I don't want them to have a monopoly hold on the standalone VR market. I don't want them to have a monopoly hold on the VR market in general. And right now, with them sitting at about 40+% of the connected headsets to Steam, they're starting to get to that point. I want competitors, I want people to push the medium forward. Now, don't get me wrong, I think HTC VIVE aren't going to compete with the Oculus price point. I think that's out of the question. HTC make great products, and they are high-end products. I think this will be a standalone headset, but I think it will be aimed a halfway house, maybe. Aimed halfway at the hobbyists and halfway at the casual mainstream audience that's starting to emerge. I still think it's probably not going to be under £450 to £500. I think it will still be around that, maybe as high as 600. I could be completely and utterly wrong, but I think they're probably going to go all out on some fantastic tech. I think the tech will blow away the Oculus Quest 2, but I don't think they'll be able to compete on the price point because of that. But that's probably enough. That's probably enough for them to start eating into this new marketplace, this new audience of VR users. It will win over the hobbyists who don't necessarily want to buy a Quest 2 because they look at it and see it as maybe an inferior product, something that doesn't quite live up to their PC VR standard they already have. If HTC Vive can get closer to that with what they're building, then the hobbyists will see it and be like, you know what, now it's time for me to grab a standalone VR headset. People that have used the Quest 2 for quite some time and are looking for a better contrast on their blacks, wider field of view, higher quality, will also maybe consider it. Oh yeah, okay, I can upgrade, it's going to cost me a bit more, but I'm going to get a higher quality headset for a bit more cash. And then the people that are sitting outside of VR who don't want to be involved because of the Facebook implication and the restrictive nature of how Oculus are allowing people to log on to the Quest 2, they'll have an alternative option. Yes, it might be more expensive, but they'll have an alternative option. So many companies right now must be looking at Oculus and looking at the market that they're capturing and thinking, we need to make a move. As I say, it's still early. VR is still in its infancy, so there's still time for people to come in here and start to make a mark on that part. But there will become a time where it's going to be harder to pull people away from Oculus. Because of the ecosystem and infrastructure they already have, if you've played Oculus for a year and you spent all that money on games in the Oculus store, you bought 10, 20, 30 games, it's going to be hard for you to pull yourself away from Oculus and jump over to Vive or another competitor, because you've got all those games tied to an account that they'll work on the Quest 3, you'd assume, or the Quest 4, or whatever we get to. So the sooner someone makes a move and puts alternative headsets onto the market or into the market, the better. And I just can't wait to see it. I welcome it with open arms. Competition is the best thing that could happen in the VR industry right now. We need people making more headsets. We need people making more games. We want people to push the tech forward, and we want people to push the innovations forward. I want to see new things. Ultimately, if HTC Vive pull the cloth off of that headset in the next few weeks, and it's a standalone VR headset that is a higher price point than the Quest, but has a suite of features that attract the hobbyists and catch the attention of people who aren't interested in engaging with the Facebook login policies of Oculus, that will be enough to get the ball rolling on some fantastic competition within the standalone VR marketplace. We need it. It's genuinely great to see so many people coming into VR and joining through the Oculus platforms. The Quest 2 has opened the doors to so many new people to come in and enjoy VR and experience VR for the first time, and I will always love them for that. And I love my Quest 2 and I love my Rift S, but I really do want that competition. I want people to help push the medium forward in new and exciting ways for years to come, and I can't wait to see what HTC are going to do. It's coming soon, it looks like, or a reveal at the very least is coming soon. The headset may not release for a little while, but I can't wait to see what it is. My hopes and dreams are for a standalone VR headset that pushes the specs forward. Yeah, it's going to cost more, but it does enough spec-wise to really challenge what the Quest 2's put out there. A standalone VR headset that will bring on board the hobbyists, the people that are really into the tech side of VR, and something that will win over the people who aren't interested in engaging with the Facebook policies and the Facebook login aspect of the Quest 2. I can't wait. And I think, realistically, if you're into VR in a big way, I think we all need to be keeping our eyes on all the companies that are sitting on the fringe right now. Keep our eyes on Apple, keep our eyes on Sony, keep our eyes on Valve. All of them right now, you'd be naive to not think they are. All of them right now must be watching Oculus, making these huge gains, making these incredible forward strides in VR with the Quest 2. It's such a massive pie, and everyone's going to want a slice of it soon. The standalone VR headset market is going to explode in the next couple of years. PC VR is always going to be there, I'm sure it will be. But the standalone market, turning VR headsets into their own consoles within their own right, without the need for a PC, that's the thing that excites me the most. And the sooner people get involved, the better, because they can start building infrastructures, building ecosystems, and pulling people away from Oculus before it's too late to pull them away. Because once those people have invested too much money into Oculus and into the games on that platform, they won't want to come away. If you've enjoyed this little rant about upcoming possible standalone VR headsets, then jump over to the Trip VR podcast channel. We've got an episode coming out where we've got a bit of an extended chat about this very thing. Sometimes I go on that podcast. I'm not on there all the time, but I try to be on there as much as possible at the moment. Myself, Dr. Greg VR, and VR Bug, we just like to chat about VR. We're all very passionate about it. They're couple of great guys. Drop a subscribe on that channel, and that episode should be dropping at some point in the coming week, so we have an extended chat about that, and we have a conversation with the creator of Cosmo Dread. Well, Dr. Greg did. Lucky sod, he got to interview Sergio, the creator of Cosmo Dread. That will be a great interview, well worth checking out. Hope you've enjoyed, guys. I'm going to go and play some games on my Quest 2 right now, because I do love my Quest 2. I just want someone to challenge it. I will see you all soon. I hope you've enjoyed. Take care of yourselves. See you later.